Hello! Despite the late start, we're here and we're ready. We are ready to go. Okay. We're gonna start with the next part of Investigations 2, which is the Captive Turnabout. Oh. What will this be about? We'll see. Hopefully I don't get downvoted and doxxed too badly. Was that Knight who we just saw? Interesting. Box Fox, hello, and welcome to the stream. Alright, March 27th, 10:16 a.m., Detention Center, Visitors Room. Hey, we're back at the Detention Center, and this is, what it looks like in full, glorious 3 dimensions. There's a quiet. Still no sign of them, huh? Yeah. How long do they intend to keep us waiting? Now, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure the guard will bring him in any second now. The killing of Bastian Rook. It's been 2 days since the incident at the park, and today we're paying a visit to the detention center. Our aim, of course, is to interview Bronco Knight, who has been charged with the murder. His trial is due to start tomorrow, and I am to be the prosecutor behind the bench. What's taking so long? You there! What's going on? I don't know, sir. We've got a situation. This Knight, he's been killed. What? Killed? In the detention center? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. What are you waiting for? Right. Guard, take us to the scene of the crime at once. Yes, sir. So it didn't happen in the holding cells, but surely that was where he was being held? What's the holdup? The crime scene's this way. Where are you taking us? Doesn't this door lead to... The prison proper, yes. You mean those other cells aren't part of the prison? Not exactly, no. Those are the detention center's holding cells. That's where defendants are kept while they're awaiting trial. The area beyond this door serves a rather different purpose. Yeah, it's where the people who are convicted serve out their time. I suppose you could say it's the last place a great thief should ever want to be. I've unlocked it, sir. Please, follow me. And there he is. That's Knight, all right. But he's dead. How could this have happened, and how did he wind up inside the prison proper? March 27th, 10:32 a.m., prison workshop. This is horrible. How did Mr. Knight get himself murdered? I can hardly believe it myself. But there can be no doubting the evidence of our own eyes. And what's he doing here? I thought he was being held in the detention center, no? He was. He must have been. His trial hadn't even begun yet. The law states that until convicted, suspects are to be kept in cells separate from the main prison. Only those who have been found guilty are sent to the prison proper. There's no way Knight should have been in here. Maybe he wandered his way over. The detention center and the prison are separated not only by 2 heavy doors, but also a lengthy corridor. That would have been a long way to wander, especially for a detainee. Okay, so we have the map here. So this is the prison, the cells, whatever this is, an office area. So there's a corridor connecting it, but it looks like there's also another way through. Okay. Building layout data jotted down in my organizer. I suppose we'd better take a closer look at Knight's body. We'll need to examine the scene of the crime carefully if we want to get to the bottom of this. Alright, prison workshop. Begin investigation. Alright. What is this? What's with all the weird equipment? I'm not sure, but I don't see anything particularly suspicious here. Smells weird, though. Kind of musky, like wet fur. I didn't know you had such a keen nose. Oh, it's nothing special, really. Except when it comes to sniffing out treasure. Remind me to seal all my valuables away in airtight containers. No way, Mr. Edgeworth. I'd never steal any of your stuff. But you would happily steal someone else's. I'm not sure that's entirely reassuring. Yeah. Though, I wouldn't call this normal. This is odd. Is this like a dog grooming station? It's a sink. It doesn't seem to contain any useful clues. Nope. No whiff of treasure either. You do know we're not actually looking for treasure, right? What is that, a whip? Time to inspect every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Thanks, Kay. Indeed, this area is too big to take in all at once. Fortunately, I can use the, number keys to look up and down. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. She said it. She said the thing. Alright. Looks like a pulley of some kind. Maybe the prisoners use it for work. I suppose so, yes. Okay, so I know you're gonna say no. But, absolutely not, Kay. You are not permitted to swing on that rope. Oh, I knew it. Oh, I should have known you were being serious. Yeah. Weird having something like this in a prison, huh? A cage inside a cage? Technically, Kay, a prison is made up of cages, but cells. What's the difference? No offense, Mr. Edgeworth, but you gotta look at the basic nature of things more. Yes, and the basic nature of an investigation is the pursuit of accurate facts and information. Oh no! We're gonna have the difference between a cage and a cell now? In addition to stepladders? Yeah, what is this? These tarps are rather colorful. A pile of tarps, okay? They kind of stand out in a room like this, don't they? They certainly don't look like they belong in a prison. Look, there's a whip on top of them. You know who that reminds me of, right? Hey, maybe it's actually hers. Maybe she left it here. Not a chance. She and her whip are attached at the wrist, trust me. That was my thought, too. There was a rope near Knight's body, too. Speaking of which, want to see my super stealthy rope escape trick? Thanks, but I'll let you know when I'm in need of saving. She seems genuinely disappointed. Alright, is that everything for now? It might be. Box 5. So, what is this? This part of the floor is covered with dirt. You know what that means, sir? Footprints! Too many footprints, unfortunately. We'll need a specialist to identify them. Guess we just gotta wait till forensics gets here. Yes, and in the meantime, if you could refrain from treading all over it. Wouldn't want to slip up and get the old jacket dirty, huh? A good point, Mr. Edgeworth. Thanks. My concern was for the footprints, not your jacket, detective. What about, let's maybe look at the body, and then we'll talk to Gumshoe. Bronco Knight, killed the day before his court date. Still gotta say, I like Horace Knightley better. I'm just gonna be biased most of the time in favor of the fan translation names. We'd better take a closer look. Alright, so what do we got here? There's a pink glove with dirt on it. His wound is covered in blood. We've got a chessboard. And we have the tarp with a rope. Alright, let's start looking around. Let's start with the glove. A rubber glove. Yep, just the one though. I should examine it in more detail. Okay. Wait, is that blood? Sure is. Wait a minute. Inmate use only. Inmate use only. I guess that means that it must be one of the prisoners who is using it, right? Yes, you would certainly imagine so. The fingers are covered in blood on this side. I think we can safely assume that this glove was dropped sometime after Knight's blood had been spilt. We can? How come? Because had it been on the floor when the pool of blood was forming, then the blood would have flowed around it, but not underneath it. Oh, meaning there'd only be a band of blood around the edges of the fingers, and not all over the backside. Assuming the glove was discarded after the blood had pooled around the body, maybe our murderer ditched it after they did the deed. It's certainly a possibility. At the very least, whoever it was that dropped it must have seen the body. You there! Yes, sir? Have you seen that glove before? Yes, sir. The prisoners wear them for work. It's strange, though. Prisoners issued with these gloves are under strict orders to keep them in their cells. They aren't allowed to take them out without permission, and we always check. I suppose that would explain why there aren't any other gloves in the workshop. The rubber glove data jotted down in my organizer. Well, let's look at our victim. His neck brace is soaked with the blood from the hole in his neck. I would assume that's the cause of death, and that it was probably instantaneous. He wouldn't have even had the chance to cry out for help. There's a small cut on his scalp, too. Was he struck with something? Maybe he fell and hit his head after he was stabbed in the throat. It's possible, but it's too early to say with any certainty. Okay, you have your camera with you, correct? Could you lend it to the detective so that he can photograph the body? Sure thing. All yours, Gummy. Thanks. All right, here we go. His clothes sure are a mess, though, huh? Indeed. They appear to be covered in dirt. Mr. Knight's body data jotted down in my organizer. Guess he's like me when it comes to laundry. It would be a grave error to think that anybody else could be quite like you, Detective. Alright, so we've examined the body, we've examined the glove. Let's look at the chess piece. Huh? Is that? Oh, I've seen one of these in your office, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure you have, Detective. It's a pocket chess set. The victim's, I'd imagine. Makes sense. He loved chess, after all. Yeah, it would have been a good way to pass the time. Pocket chess set data jotted down in my organizer. Alright. A folding chessboard with the pieces stored inside. It appears to have belonged to the victim. Got it. And then the tarp. The body is partially covered by a dirt-stained tarp. And there's a rope on top of it. Was Knight tied up with the rope somehow? Rope data jotted down in my organizer. Okay. We should take a look under the sheet as well. Ah, look at all that red stuff! Yes, I'd say that's blood. Interesting. We should keep looking around. There's bound to be more secrets to uncover. I'm sure of it. Well, we've seen the tarp. What's this? There's something on his finger. Let's take a closer look, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a ring. And an expensive-looking one at that. Don't even think about it, Kay. What? I didn't say anything. Okay. Is that all we're gonna say about it? I guess so. Well, it might be time to talk to, Mr. Gumshoe then. Yes, sir! Look at the badge. That thing's pretty small. You don't lose it all the time. The sacred symbol of my office? No, detective, I do not. Yes, it's a good thing I'm no prosecutor, huh? I'd have lost 100 this week alone. I mean, I lost my badge at least that often. That's quite a talent. All right. Anything to say about the building layout? A good one, Mr. Edgeworth, I think. You weren't showing me that for a reason, were you? Wouldn't know the first thing about it. And yet, that doesn't seem to bother you at all. Alright. Mr. Knight's body? Stabbed in the neck. Doesn't get much worse than that. How's a guy supposed to slurp down his instant noodles like that? Very funny, detective. Though I'd think carefully before saying any more. Otherwise, you might find that you, too, are unable to slurp down any more of your beloved noodles. Oh, what do you mean, sir? Your salary is performance-based, so you'd better start performing. Talk about a hard pill to swallow. Gumshoe pilled. The victim. Arrested for murder on the afternoon of the 25th and killed on the morning of the 27th. Talk about instant karma. Never would have thought our pup would turn into a victim himself, though. Yes. I don't like this at all. You don't think it was that ice cream guy, do you, sir? Knight had seen his face, right? Maybe he couldn't afford to let him live. Shelley the killer, you mean? No, if this were his doing, he would surely have left a calling card. And besides, Knight isn't the only one who knows what he looks like. We do, too. Oh yeah, and I guess we're still alive. So... Still, this is a high-security facility. I just don't understand how it was even possible. Talk about the prison. Guess it makes sense having the detention center and the prison in the same building. Means they can share the visitor's room. Indeed, it's an unusual design, but it's certainly convenient for anyone visiting. Yeah, but then why have two different areas in the first place? For the two different classes of detainees, of course, those pre-trial and those post-trial. Two facilities may be housed in the same building in this case, but they are actually quite different. Well, all I know is that they're both cramped and dark, and don't let you leave when you want. Perhaps spending a night in each would help clarify the differences between them. No, I'm good. Thanks. All right. I think we got some logicking to do now. The bloody tarp and the pile of tarps. That seems an easy one. These tarps have a pretty distinctive design. In fact, it's the same design as the bloody tarp around Mr. Knight's body. Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. That'll teach you to be so careless, Mr. Edgeworth. You need to keep your treasures close when there's a great thief around. I thought you were on sabbatical. The bloody tarp data jotted down in my organizer. Okay. Not a bad bit of evidence gathering. Ha! Nothing can stop us when we're on the hunt together, right, Gummy? You betcha! We're unstoppable! A regular Three Musketeers! Let's not get carried away, Detective. There's one thing we still haven't found. What do you mean, sir? What's missing from this crime scene? Well, it's blood, footprints, or the murder weapon, right? There's blood, footprints, the murder weapon is definitely missing. Let's see. I see no sign of a murder weapon anywhere. You're right! I didn't even think of that! Come now, Detective. Those are basic investigative principles we're talking about here. Yeah, I guess. Sorry, sir. Don't worry, Gummy. It hadn't crossed my mind either. A fact that hardly puts my mind at ease, Kay. Items that could prove even potentially lethal are strictly controlled within a prison. After all, we wouldn't want the inmates getting their hands on them, would we? Which means acquiring a murder weapon would be hard enough, let alone leaving the scene with one. Oh yeah, nice thinking, Mr. Edgeworth. What was the murder weapon? And where has it gone? The answers to these questions may be the keys to figuring out what happened here. Huh? Didn't know the guy had a whole entourage. Excusez-moi, but, this is the scene of the crime, right? Yo! Wait a second. Are you? No way. Those piercing eyes. That furrowed brow. Mr. Fender. It has been far too long. I know, right? But even after all this time, I'd know that deep bow anywhere. And that neck wear, Hobbs. Manfred von Karma. The man, the legend. Gotta say, I didn't expect to see you here. Ugh. What are you talking about, pal? This is Mr. Edgeworth, not that old geezer. Detective, please. Edgeworth? Wow. Guess that explains the fresh face. You can't blame the guy for mixing you two up, though. You're the spitting image of the old devil in his day. I see you haven't changed. How many years has it been? Man, good question. But who's counting, eh? Been away traveling. So long I lost track. You know how it is. But you know what I do remember? You betraying everything you were supposed to stand for. Whoa, where did that come from? And who are you anyway? This is Eddie Fender. He's a defense attorney. Okay, I get the pun. A defender. In the fan translation, his name was Ray Shields. Okay, so Eddie Fender. I'm going to try my best to remember that name. I will probably be calling him Ray many times, though. Enchante, as they say. Fender's the name and defending's the game. I'm a bit of a ace attorney. Oh! He said it! He said it! He said it! Oh, wow. Yep. Pog. Whatever. Whatever they say nowadays. Detective Dick Gumshoe! And I'm Kay Faraday. Great thief. I'm, on sabbatical at the moment, though. A great thief. Wow. That's so, romantic. Très chic, if you will. Right? It's nice to finally meet someone who gets it. I'm looking to expand the franchise, actually. I even made signing up super simple. Sounds awesome. I'd love to come hang out with you guys, if you'll have me. Sorry, I should have also mentioned that it's girls only, and they have to be super fun, and super cool, and... Hey, I totally get it. No hard feelings, yeah? Come on, bring it in. You've got to be kidding. My bad. I'm just so used to how they do things elsewhere, you know? And why are you here, Mr. Fender? Oops, I almost forgot this is your scene. Keeping the defense out is strategy number 1 in the Von Karma playbook, after all, isn't it? Hey, quit it with all the Von Karma stuff, pal! What gives? Hold it. Detective, calm yourself. His attitude is, unfortunately, understandable. It is? I take it you are Mr. Knight's attorney? Guilty as charged, Your Honor. Well, I was supposed to be, anyway. So he was planning to represent Knight. If his client hadn't been murdered, he and I would have faced off against each other in court. I'd better see what he has to say for himself. Alright. We'll talk to Eddie in a second. I had to stop and think, but let's look over here. These seem to be lists of prison reservations for this workshop. What are all these numbers, Mr. Edgeworth? Prisoner numbers, I'd imagine. I'd hate to be given a number like that. I rather agree people are meant to have names. I'd much rather be called Great Thief or the Second Yatagarasu. Alright, no name for you then, I guess. Let's talk to the guard. Anything out of the ordinary to report, officer? Yes, sir. There is this one thing. Go on. There's a body in the workshop, sir. He's right. That's definitely out of the ordinary. If anything else occurs to you, you know where to find me. What else we got? So I think we've looked at everything. I think we just got to talk to Eddie. Stopping to remind myself. Okay. Let's talk. Look at my badge. Huh? For me? You shouldn't have. Always wanted to rock one of these pawn my lapel. Thanks. You're a star. I never said I was giving it to you. Hey, I'm just yanking your chain. I've already got a badge of my own, see? It's the attorney's badge. It's been so long since we've seen one of those. You don't wear your attorney's badge? Once in a blue moon. Goes nicely with my winter coat, as it happens. Guys gotta dress to impress, you know what I mean? Impress who, exactly? Let's talk about the body. I heard the Bronxter was a bit of a chess fiend. Indeed, perhaps we might have enjoyed a game had we met under different circumstances. Sounds like a riot. Not my cup of tea, though, really. Too much thinking. Fries my noggin. Oh, please. As I recall, I've yet to beat you even once. Yeah, well, that was a long time ago. Now that you're a big shot prosecutor, I bet I wouldn't stand a chance. If you say so, Fender, I suppose we can leave it at a stalemate. For now. He never was one to show his hand. Let's see, the bloody tarp. Let's just talk. Your current case. So the victim asked you to represent him. Sure did. We were supposed to have a little chat today. As was I. But a guard showed up instead and told us that his body had been found. I'm as bummed about it as you. Even brought him some weenies to cheer him up. What? Mr. Fender, you know you can't bring food into the prison. That was an octopus. Oh yeah. Well, it's here now. Want some? Little vice I picked up on my travels. So Moorish. No, thank you. Fine, you do you. What are you doing here anyway? Don't tell me you wanted to hear Knight's side. Von Karma was always more of a convicted defendant at all costs guy. He didn't teach you that? That was a long time ago. If you say so. Sure you don't want any weenies? No, thank you. Let's talk about the victim. Have you met with your client previously? Yes, indeed, Your Honor. Just yesterday, in fact. The Bronxter called me the minute he was arrested. Sounded really freaked out, man. Oh, yeah. Mentioned your little performance, too. According to him, you really made a nuisance of yourself. And not a kind word was spoken, I'm sure. Well, sticks and stones and all that. Boy, did he not like you. Trash talked you something fierce. Can't say I didn't join in the fun, though. Fun? How dare you, Mr. Fender? Lighten up, kid. I'm kind of a fixture in the visitor's room here. And I don't think I ever had that much of a gas. Oh, so you come here a lot? Hey, don't go getting the wrong idea, little sis. I'm never on the wrong side of the bars, just having to know someone who is. The visitor's room is usually where I'm at, but this isn't exactly my first time in the clink either. In which case, I'd better ask him what he knows about this room. Talk about the room. I really like this guy, by the way. He was like one of my favorite additions to the cast in this game. This room. Tell me, what do you know about the scene of the crime? Huh? Oh, this room? No, dude. What do you know about it? I'll give you 3 choices. It's a classroom, a morgue, or a recreation room. It's not a recreation room. It's not a morgue. Is it a classroom? Does it teach how to wash dogs? For real? Is it a classroom? What? Like they tied the Bronxter up in here to teach him a lesson? Check out those powers of deduction. A pat on the head for our genius prosecutor. Now, let's see what the answer key has to say, shall we? Oh no, you got it wrong. This is actually a workshop. So all 3 were wrong. So all the options he gave me were wrong. How infantile. The cons come here to perform various duties. They can learn new skills too. Make some qualifications for when they're back on the street. I see. And how is access to this room controlled? Who has the key? Chill out, Edgeworth. I don't have all the answers. My man over there probably does though, right, compadre? Yes, sir. The workshops aren't locked with physical keys. Their doors are fitted with sensors instead. What kind of sensors? Inmates are issued with special bracelets, sir. When they walk through a workshop door, the sensor checks their bracelet. And if they're not supposed to be there, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, an alarm sounds. This is like 999. If they let it ring for too long, then bzzz, they get a real shock, if you know what I mean. Okay, in 999 they explode, but that's probably nicer. And if they try to break or remove the bracelet, bzzz, a shock 3 times worse than that. What? That's brutal. I guess they need to ensure that the inmates follow the rules, but that sounds a bit excessive. If they wish to pass through a door like this one, prisoners need to be accompanied by a guard. We disable the sensor for them and let them in. You get all that? Have any prisoners used this workshop today? No, sir. No one's been in here for days. I'd know if they had. So no prisoners have entered, let alone used this workshop today. Okay, door sensor data jotted down in my organizer. Cool. Which means that there's a contradiction in this crime scene. Namely, there's something here that shouldn't be. I'll take another quick look over the crime scene and employ my powers of deduction to solve this mystery. Alright, see ya, Eddie. Okay. We'll go over here and look at it again. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Is it the glove? Could this be related to the evidence somehow? Only one glove, prison-issued equipment, right? They detect and react to the prisoner's bracelet by raising the alarm. I think this is it, the rubber glove. This piece of evidence clearly shows that there's a contradiction here. Where am I looking exactly, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, around, here. Somewhere. You're gonna need to be more specific than that, sir. There's something present at this crime scene that shouldn't be here. Fairly sure I have a piece of evidence that proves this fact beyond a doubt. Is it the rope? Let's see. The rope. No, the tarp is sitting over there. Let's see. Let's look at our evidence real quick. What else do we have? The door. The chess set. Have we looked at this more in depth? Let's open it up. Come on. Hurry up and open that clasp. This is a murder investigation. You sound like a child on Christmas morning. Oh, please. Even your heart must skip a beat when you're about to open a mysterious box. Not all of us think like you, Kay. Thankfully. Okay. These are chess pieces, right? I've seen the ones you have in your office. So how come these are black and white? Most chess pieces are. The ones in my office are custom made. As in they're unique and probably valuable? I like the sound of that. She's got that glint in her eye. She'd better not be planning a robbery. Alright, so nothing out of the ordinary then? It's just regular chess pieces. Got it. Alright, that's good to know. So... let's see. Fitted to each, they detect... Is it... Okay. So there's nothing with the chess set. I'd still think the glove is suspicious. Could this be related to the evidence? Is it not the glove, but the door sensor? That they detect and react to the prisoner's bracelets by raising the alarm. So, is the idea that if there was a glove there, then the alarm would have gone off, but yet it didn't? Maybe? Let's see. Oh, I think that is it. Prisoners aren't able to come and go from this workshop as they please. The door sensor would detect their bracelets, and the alarm would sound. What's more, according to the guard, no prisoners were authorized to be in this room at all today. And yet, here we have a rubber glove, of the kind issued to inmates. This is a clear contradiction.
So where did the glove come from, sir?
I don't know, Detective. Not yet, anyway. All I know for now is that the glove is a valuable piece of evidence. Investigation complete. Cool. You, apart from prisoners and guards, who else has access to this room?
No one, sir. This is a prison after all. Prisoners and guards are pretty much all there is.
Mr. Fender? Come on, don't play it like that, friend. We both know that's not true. You know as well as I do that prisoners and guards aren't the only ones who can come in here.
Huh? Oh, do you mean... But sir, they're...
Mr. Fender, would you care to get to the point? Who exactly are you talking about? What? You don't have a pair of peepers in that hard head of yours? You didn't see them on the way in? Wandering about in the corridors, chilling with their buds? I bet if you moseyed on out that door right now, you'd trip over one of them before you'd taken a step.
Listen, pal, we've just about had enough of your baloney.
Take a chill pill, big guy. I'm on your side. You know, for such a wide fella, you have a very narrow mind.
What did you...
Detective?
Oh, sorry, sir.
Look, just follow me, okay? Seeing is believing, isn't that what they say? March 27th, 11:06 a.m., prison corridor. This is no ordinary slammer. Here, the humans share their space with some special friends.
Animals?
Yep. Furred and feathered fellas of all shapes and sizes. Guard filled me in on how it came about. Seems they decided to try a little experiment in animal therapy a few years back. The cons are assigned a critter each. A buddy to help keep their spirits up. Really? Wow, that sounds like so much fun. Plus, inmates can even earn pet care qualifications if they go through some job training with the animals. Oh, that must be what all the equipment in the workshop is for. That pig does look suspicious. You got it. Room set up specially for that training stuff.
So, when you said somebody else could have been at the scene of the crime...
Exactamundo, big guy. I was talking about these guys.
That just means you're still talking baloney. What would an animal do with a rubber glove?
Good question. All I'm saying is that it was possible. The rest is Mr. Prosecutor's problem.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, if you want me to arrest this piece of baloney, just say the word.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying these animals can wander freely around the prison? You know, these sensors on the doors, they detect the prisoner's bracelets and sound the alarm when somebody goes walkabout. Well, For our furry friends, it's the other way around. They're fitted with microchips that open doors right up. They are? Uh-huh. They're implanted just under the skin, around the shoulders. Big needle, quick jab. Voila. What? Doesn't it hurt? Nope, they don't feel a thing. That's what they tell me anyway. Now, where was I? Alright. So the point is, they're not the baddies here. So there's no reason to punish them. It's ironic, really. Here in this institution where the humans are caged, the animals are free to roam to their heart's content. Door sensors data updated in my organizer. Man, that must smell horrible in there. They're not completely free, though. They can't leave the prison proper, for one thing. No sensor on that big mother of a door out, you see? Ah. What's that tinkling sound? Sir? Okay. Just look at that thing. And is that a bell around its neck? That explains the sound, I suppose. The dog and Edgeworth are having a stare down. Mr. Edgeworth, were you seriously trying to stare it down? Okay, I was joking, but... I refuse to lose to a dog.
Not for nothing, sir, but your dog handling skills could use some work. Leave it to a pro. I know how to treat him right. Come on now, gum to gummy.
And off it goes.
Man, ignored by a dog.
That dog was certainly very different to the other animals. And it seemed to have a real thing against me. And only me. Alrighty then, you met the menagerie. What's next?
Guess we better interview some witnesses, right, sir?
Indeed. We need more information regarding what was happening around the time the body was found.
Then let's start with that guy. Hey, you there in the cell.
Okay. Ignored again. Hello? We were wondering if you might be able to tell us anything about this morning's incident. Is anyone else a little afraid of this guy? Not a big talker, huh? It's alright, man. I'm on your side here. Let's start with a handshake, huh? Maybe a hug to break the ice. Seconds. Out. What's that supposed to mean? Hey, I get it, man. Not everyone's the hugging type. I'm cool with that. Oh.
Round one, 10 reps each.
What is this man up to? I better see what he has to say for himself. Your name?
From the blue corner, it's Rocco D259 Carcerado. Don't mind if I keep moving, do you, boss? Fighter can't let his heart rate drop, see?
It doesn't look like there's any danger of that. Don't you worry, you'll lose too much weight doing all that.
Gotta make weight before a fight, boss. Won't even make it into a ring if you don't. Wait, I get it. You gotta be a boxer, right? Wise, back in my day, but it's good to stay fighting fit. Leastways, that's how I see it.
So is the bear part of your training too? It looks kind of like an apron. It's so cute.
Ain't nothing cute about Teddy. Kid's my partner, see? This here polar bear keeps me on my toes.
He seems to have loosened up a little. Now's my chance. Where were you and Teddy at the time of the incident?
Come on, boss, I ain't no stoolie. And I don't know nothing no-how.
I'll be the judge of that. Please, answer the question.
You punch drunk or something, boss? I told you, I don't know zip.
So we won't play ball. Guess there's only one thing to do, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed. The more he protests his ignorance, the more certain I am that he's hiding something. All right. Let's see exactly what you do and don't know, shall we, Mr. Carcerado? Here we go. Now, let us analyze the state of play, now that I have teleported us back to the chess dimension. He adopts a boxing stance when he's on high alert. My guess is that things won't go well if I push too hard at such moments. When my opponent is on the offensive, I should remain calm and bide my time. He's bound to reveal an opening eventually, which is when I'll pounce. First, let's see if our friend here knows anything about the incident. I'll start by asking about his movements, and bring this fight to an end, before he knows what hit him. Mind chess, commence. Tell me about your day so far. Why don't you start by telling me what you've done today? You will answer me, Mr. Carcerado.
What? You want a shot at the champ, is that it? Then put him up, pal.
Bide my time.
Throwing in the towel already? That's gotta be a record.
Fisticuffs is hardly my style, but I'm more than happy to take you on in a game of chess. Incidentally, don't you get tired ducking and diving like that all the time?
You think I don't got the stamina, kid? Oh, just you try me.
Bide my time.
I ain't tired. Not today. Not ever. Especially not today. Took it real easy this morning. Had me some quiet cell time. Hardly broke a sweat.
Really? You look pretty sweaty to me.
Give me a break, will you? I'm done talking, okay? I'm tired. Yeah, real tired.
I thought you took it easy. There we go. You may have kept your boxing skills sharp, Mr. Carcerado, but I'm afraid your lying needs quite a bit of work. Tired? Really? I hardly think that's possible. Especially not after you just told me about your quiet cell time this morning.
We gotta be careful, Hill Titty. When this guy lands, he lands.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's dropping the weights. He's hiding something, I'm sure of it. I should try asking about what was happening at the time of the incident, both in and outside his cell. I won't need to use my fists in this next round. No, I'll deliver this knockout using carefully chosen words alone. Alright. What was it like around here? Let's do that. Did you notice anything strange around the time of the incident?
What do you mean, strange?
Let's bide my time.
Hey, get the heck out of the ring if you're not gonna fight.
I'll need to attack more if I am aim to win. Okay. He tends to adopt a boxing stance when he's readying for a fight. I should bide my time in such moments and aim to strike when he drops his guard. Alright, we'll do this again. Worn out already. Haven't you noticed yet? You're backed into a corner here. Nope.
Get a load of this guy, Teddy. Thinks he's got the champ on the back foot. Guess I better knock some sense into him.
Curses. I should have picked my words more carefully. Alright, that's not it. Adopts a boxing stance when he's readying for a fight. How about what were you doing? Do you remember what you were doing at the time of the incident?
I was, catching some Z's. We both was.
The incident happened only a short while ago. You seem wide awake, all things considered. Alright, he's back in his boxing stance, and he's doing some Street Fighter moves. Bide my time.
Fighter's gonna be able to get up quick when he's down, but he needs his beauty sleep too. Builds muscle.
Is that so? Then I apologize for waking you. I have read that rest is an important part of any boxer's training regime.
You don't say. So Mr. Prosecutor's savvy when it comes to the fight game, huh? Who knew?
How do you know my profession? Interesting. How do you know I'm a prosecutor? I don't remember telling you. You've been eavesdropping, haven't you? You've been listening to every word we said out here in the corridor. Which means you weren't asleep, and that you were lying. Again.
Oh,
You're good, kid. Cut me clean with that one. All right, I admit it. I wasn't catching those Z's. But what? A guy can't work out in his cell no more without lawyers getting involved. Or is a man taking care of himself a crime now? The fact that we now know he was awake is an important development. Could well prove to be a useful clue. Alright, what was it like around here? Let's see, don't play dumb. Answer the question. Tell me what was going on around that time. Wish I could help you, boss, but I was asleep. We both was. Time to deploy my clue. You were exercising. Enough of your barefaced lies. You weren't asleep, you were exercising. You told me as much yourself. Oof, a counterpuncher. Should have seen that one coming. It seems I have you on the ropes, Mr. Carcerado. It's time to come clean about what you know. All right, you don't gotta shout about it. Stomping around like you own the place. Teddy and his pals have been scared enough this morning already. Already, you say? Got it. You've done well to endure this long, but I fear you'll soon be out for the count. You say the animals have been scared enough already, which implies something happened here earlier. Well, what was it, Mr. Carcerado? Quit it, will you? I'm getting shellacked here. Fine. Somebody yelled, okay? Real loud. Real scared. Got all the little guys scared, too. Yeah, laugh it up, Mr. Big Shot Lawyer. Let me see you do the same thing in the ring. Checkmate. Mind chest checkmate. Got it. I think we've now established that you know more than you're letting on, don't you? Fine, I'll talk. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's not get carried away, Kay. Our work here has only just begun. Hey, can we call a timeout here for a sec, guys? There's something super big I need to say. It's like fate brought us here today after all these years, Edgeworth. And it's a real privilege watching how you work. Eye-opening stuff, in fact. Just thought you should know I'll be telling you know who. What you become. Who know who? Keen to get the lowdown, huh? Well... That's enough. This has nothing to do with Kay. Whoa, don't have a cow, man! Why so sensitive? We have Bart Simpson references now? Report whatever you wish to whomever you wish. Just do it on someone else's time. Whatever you say, boss man. But I think he should know, at least. You know, how you been living your life since you signed on to doing things the Von Karma way? After all, you've disappointed him enough for one lifetime already, am I right? Well, what's he talking about, Mr. Edgeworth? Nothing that need concern you, Kay. Our focus should be on Mr. Carcerado. Now, shall we continue? It's time to hear the truth at last. You won't land a glove on me, kid! Alright. The incident. There was a show, finished right around 10 a.m. Came back here after. Did some training. Leastways I tried to. Barely got to the counter two before somebody screams, "What the? Ah!" Guy was hollering and howling, crying for help. But what can I do? I'm locked up in here, right? So I tunes it out and gets back to work. I find it curious that we'd pay so little heed to a desperate cry for help. Like I say, boss, what can I do? Besides, this is the joint. Don't nobody thank nobody for getting involved in what ain't none of their concern. I hear you, brother. Best you could do is rubberneck from in there anyway, am I right? You mentioned training, Mr. Carcerado. I can't help but notice how well equipped your cell is. There's a guy, the fixer they call him. What's a fixer? Fellow who can get his hands on just about anything you need, for a price. No way! Think you can find me a... Perhaps, Mr. Carcerado, what you ought to ask for is a beginner's guide to giving better testimony. Because I can promise you that you'll be down for the count in one. You? Put me down? Try it, you bum! And what am I? Chopped liver? The incident. Alright, there was a show, finished up right around 10 a.m. Alright. What kind of show was it exactly?
Depends on the day. They bring him in from outside, see? Singers, dancers, all kinds. Gives us cons a little something to look forward to.
Nice, that sounds like fun. And you went along to see today's show?
Sure I did. Can't miss a chance to get a glimpse of the outside world now, can I? Then it was over.
Came back here after, did me some training. What did this training involve?
Let's see now. Today was stamina and rhythm work, which means jump rope.
What? In that tiny cell? How? And what about Teddy? Isn't that dangerous for him?
Kid's no dummy. Second I get my rope out, he jumps up and holds on tight.
You jump rope with a polar bear clinging to your chest?
I told you, didn't I? We're partners. And besides, a little extra weight's good for me.
Anyway, I started jumping rope. And when somebody screams, what the? Hang on. That's been bothering me. Because didn't they say he was instantly killed by a wound to the throat? That's bothering me. Let's present on that. Yeah. Are you listening carefully, Mr. Carcerado?
Huh? You trying to be cute or something?
The victim died from a wound to the throat, and very quickly at that. He had neither the time nor the ability to scream as you claim he did. You say you heard the victim's cries, and yet that would have been impossible.
But there must have been a scream. He said there was.
He said there was?
Quit looking so smug, will you? Fine, I admit it. I didn't hear nothing, all right? But the guy in the next cell did. He told me so.
The next cell? You mean...
What do you want? I heard a scream. What of it?
We came back from the show and they put us in our cell, same as always. Then, just like I told this guy, I heard it. A scream. A real scary one. Scary how exactly? I didn't tell in this part, I guess, but it was kind of like...
Eek!
Someone, anyone, come quickly. He's... something like that. Well, I guess it's safe to say that probably wasn't the victim. Indeed, it sounds more likely to have been the person who found his body. Ah, that explains it. So Mr. Carcerado was telling the truth, more or less. Is that really the case, though? Are there really no problems now with his testimony? There is a problem, because who found the body? I'm afraid a new problem is reared its head. Namely, why didn't you hear the scream yourself, Mr. Carcerado?
Yeah, what gives, pal? How come you didn't hear anything when your neighbor heard it clear as day? Eee! What do you think, I did the crime or something, huh? From inside of this here cell? Guy died over in the workshop, in case you forgot. Well, yeah, it does seem a little weird, now that you mention it. He's right. Neither of us could have done it. Because let me tell you, if I could get out of this here cage and murder somebody, you'd all be toast. Ain't that the truth? You bums ain't leaving this place in one piece if any of us can help it.
I almost forgot that these men are hardened criminals. Well, I won't be doing that again anytime soon. I'm guessing this wasn't how you saw this go on Edgeworth. What's my next move here? I won't get much more out of it in this state.
Who's there?
Order in the court.
Who died and made you the boss of me, huh? Can't you see we're getting busy here?
Hush now. Silence is golden.
It is...
Your hand, if you please. By the power vested in me, I hereby sentence you to blissful silence. Praise be, a simple life awaits you. No money, no possessions. May the goddess of justice watch over you now and always. God, if you would.
Looks like you'll be spending the night in solitary, buddy. What? Come on, please, boss. Any place but there.
There is no need to be afraid, my child. If anything, you should rejoice. This is a blessing, a chance to redeem yourself, to be reborn.
No!
O goddess of justice, bless your child and keep him in your care. O Holy One, we give thanks in your name.
And you are?
Verity Gavel, at your service. It is my honor to bear the title of judge and to work at the pleasure of the law.
And what is a judge doing in a place like this?
Since you asked, Mr. Edgeworth, I have been sent here to find you. I come bearing a message from the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence, and it is my sacred duty to deliver it.
The Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence? What the heck is that?
It is first and foremost a name that should not be taken in vain, my child, for it is a sacred phrase from the goddess of justice herself.
Why don't I fill you in, kiddo? The committee is a panel of 11 people whose job is to keep our beloved prosecutors honest. In other words, they make sure people like Edgeworth here don't cross the professional line. The panel is comprised of people from both the legal and political professions. A panel of which you are a member, I assume.
I am. Allow me to thank you on the committee's behalf for your service.
Thanks for coming to see us like this. And speaking for myself, it's a real honor to meet you. It's always great to hang with a judicial compadre. Come on, bring it in and chillax. We're all friends here.
Need I remind you that the committee has a long-standing relationship with the Bar Association?
Hey! I didn't mean anything by it. I was just trying to lighten the mood, okay?
So, your job's to find bad prosecutors and punish them? Precisely, my child. Praise be to the goddess of justice for bestowing her gift of insight onto you. The committee has the power to remove problematic prosecutors from cases. And should a prosecutor truly unworthy of the title be brought to our attention, we are vested with the power to confiscate that prosecutor's badge.
And what is the Committee for Prosecutory, whatever you said, what with Mr. Edgeworth? We're in the middle of an investigation here. Objection!
Pitiful! You really don't know, do you? What, an ignoramus?
And you are you, pal!
Winner, Eustace Winner, prosecutor extraordinaire. Though you might know me as just the Winner, a name they call me down at the prosecutor's office. Okay, so, this is some S-tier villain music. It is. So, this character's name was originally Sebastian the Best, and instead of the Winner, he called himself the Best. I again, gotta say, I think that was better, but okay. With great affection, I might add.
I have never heard of you.
And how about Detective Flatfoot over there?
No, name means nothing to me.
Well, it's to be expected of an ignoramus, I suppose. Ignorance is sweet, as they say, so I'm sure most things mean sweet nothings to you. Ignorance is bliss, Winner, and I don't think sweet nothings means what you think it means. It is entirely natural that you aren't yet acquainted. Eustace only joined us last month.
So he's nothing but a rookie?
I'm not just any rookie. I am a winning rookie. Which he will prove himself to be in due time. Now, let's cut to the chase. I'm here to clean up your mess, Edgeworth. What do you mean? What mess? I fear I know exactly what he means. The committee sending an envoy with a new prosecutor in tow. I suspect I know what you're getting at, Winner. But I'm going to need a few more details. Would you mind explaining, Judge Gavel? Very well. By the power vested in me by the Goddess of Justice, I hereby declare that in the manner of the incident at the presidential address and the murder of Mr. Bronco Knight, the committee hereby decrees that Prosecutor Edgeworth be relieved of his duties and replaced by Prosecutor Winner. Here ends the verdict.
What? Mr. Edgeworth is off the case? Just like that?
Judge Gavel, I believe I asked for an explanation. No explanation is required. The guilty verdict is in. The goddess has spoken, and her judgment is final.
And what exactly have I done to warrant being taken off the case?
Come now, Mr. Edgeworth. Claiming ignorance of your crimes will not serve to lessen your guilt. You boarded the presidential plane, violating the principle of extraterritoriality, and while there, you performed an unsanctioned investigation and subjected a visiting foreign leader to questioning. You were one wrong move away from causing a major international incident.
Oh.
You vastly overstepped the authority of your office. To call it an abuse of power would be no understatement. I don't deny that I may have pushed the boundaries where certain rules were concerned, but there is also no denying that certain risks must be taken if one is to arrive at the truth. I refuse to concede that my actions were inappropriate. Then what you are saying is that the ends justify the means? That rules can be freely ignored? Uh-oh. Is this hinting at the dark age of the law? TM? That is a very dangerous way of thinking. The law is absolute. It is not to be bent to your whims. Forgive me, but not all of us believe as you do. Is that so? How unfortunate. Still, it changes nothing. When a trial ends, the hammer falls. Be you defendant or attorney, even if the verdict seems irrational, nothing more can be done. Nothing, that is, but to give thanks for the Goddess of Justice's divine grace. Unless you wish to appeal, to do so would be to risk your badge, of course. So they mean to take my badge if I don't play along? Whoa. Tough break, Edgeworth. I see you've accepted your fate. Good. Guards, if you would be so kind as to escort him out.
No, stop!
What are you doing, detective? I'm in charge here now, so you'll do as I say and move out of the way.
What? You're not the boss of me!
Unluckily for you, Flatfoot, that's exactly what I am.
They're holding all the cards here. I don't stand a chance.
Detective Gumshoe,
Do as Mr. Winter says.
but sir...
Judge Gavel. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? The committee's decision is beyond irrational, so yes, I do plan to appeal. You haven't heard the last of this. Duly noted. Until we meet again, then. Let's go, Kay. We're leaving.
Right.
Oh, and remember... Hey, you know who will be getting a full report on all of this. Aristotle Means did nothing wrong. That's right. He was just a hard-working professor who was just trying to do his own thing. All right. All right. I think we'll go a little bit longer before we stop. Hey, we're back in Edgeworth's office. March 28th, 9:45 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I still can't believe what happened yesterday. It was terrible, the way those two treated you. Yes, we just saw this. Yep.
Yep, Yep. I remember it like it was yesterday that he got kicked off the case. Judge Gavell and Mr. Winter certainly didn't mince their words, but that's not what concerns me right now. I'm more worried about the committee's reasons for doing what they did, and what they might do next. I suspect it won't be good. Earth to Mr. Edgeworth! Are you listening to me?
Huh? Yes, of course.
So this is it? You're giving up on the Bronco Knight case?
No.
I have no intention of doing any such thing. To walk away from the case would be to tacitly accept the committee's decision. The only problem is that I don't have the authority to continue investigating. Yes? What is it, Detective?
I've got some bad news, sir. We're done at the precinct is. They just arrested somebody for Knight's murder.
What? Do you know who it is?
No, but I heard they're being held in the detention center. Maybe you could go talk to whoever it is.
Good idea. Let's get down there, Mr. Edgeworth. Even without the authority to investigate, surely I can still pay a suspect an innocent visit. All right, we're on our way.
Me too. I'll see you there, sir.
Won't you be missed, Detective?
Nah, everyone's busy in the prison going over the crime scene anyway.
Good. Then we'll see you shortly.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Kay. Let's go. You got it. March 28th, 10:23 a.m. Detention Center. Visitors room. Still no sign of them, huh? Indeed. Wait, this is just like last time. Please don't tempt fate like that.
No, I can't. I just can't.
Sure you can. I told you, it's just a pair of visitors. Sounds like someone really doesn't want to see us.
No, 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 no!
Just talk with them, please.
But one of them's a prosecutor, right? Aren't they all super scary? All they do is stare at you, right into your soul.
Ah, you must be the suspect in the...
Easy! I told you!
Okay. Why is this man so flustered? Probably because you're being you, but I guess that's just how you are. Thanks for clearing up absolutely nothing. Hey, Mr. Suspect, you doing okay in there? We just want to have a little chat with you. No biggie, right?
Who are you?
I'm Kay Faraday, Mr. Edgeworth's trusty sidekick. It's just a part-time gig. I'm doing while I take a break from my real job, though. Funny, I don't recall ever employing you. And that's Mr. Edgeworth. He is a prosecutor, but he's not going to stare a hole into your soul or anything. Oh, please.
Really?
Really? Really?
Really?
Anyway, can you first please tell us your name?
It's Saint. Simeon Saint.
Okay. His name was Simon Keyes in the original. Well, nice to meet you, Simeon. You can call me Kay. Everyone else does. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, I would like to ask you a few questions, if I may. Please, Simeon, we're trying to help you, I promise. Really? Thanks to Kay, it sounds like we might finally get some answers at least. Alright, look at my badge.
What? No, I can't. I couldn't. There's no way I could be a prosecutor, ever. Take that thing away from me, please.
I wasn't gonna give it to you anyway.
So what? You're gonna arrest me? Take me to court? No objection? I knew it.
Overruled, Mr. Saint. Now please calm yourself. Edgeworth is judging now. Alright, let's talk about you. Perhaps you could start by telling us a little about yourself.
Who, me? Why would anyone want to know anything about me? I'm boring. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody.
Do you have a job?
Well, it's hardly worth mentioning, really. I'm your average corporate pencil pusher, just like everyone else, honest.
This is gonna take a while. The relation to Knight. About you and Mr. Knight. And just when I thought we were making progress. Okay. So, Simeon, did you know Mr. Knight? Come on, you can tell me. Bronco? Yeah, I knew him. We were friends. Interesting. I wonder if he knew that Knight had been arrested. And, did you know Mr. Knight had been arrested? Yeah, I even came to visit him. He came to see Knight. I wonder when that would have been. And when was that, Simeon? It was the day before yesterday, around lunchtime. I came as soon as I got the call from the cops. The police called him? Why? How come the police called you? They said Bronco asked them to, that he needed a favor. A favor? Uh-huh. He wanted me to bring him his chess set, the pocket-sized one. So I went by his place, and then I came here. A chess set? A chess set? Is it just me, or is she getting better at stealing my thoughts? You do know everything you think is written all over your face, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, I'm not a mind reader, just an expression reader. Amazing, right? Don't you just love having a sidekick as helpful as me? And have you read what my next move is going to be? I sure have. There's something you want to show Simeon. Indeed. Let's present it to him and see what he has to say about it. Well, the chess set. Yeah, Phoenix Wright Syndrome and Ryuichi Naruhodo Syndrome. Or Ryunosuke Naruhodo. There we go. So this chess set. Oh, that's the one I brought for Bronco. Well, that settles that at least. Pocket chess set data updated in my organizer. We, found it next to Mr. Knight. He always had to have a chessboard somewhere nearby. I'm not surprised he had it with him when he... Simeon, you and Mr. Knight, you were very close, weren't you? Yeah, we were best friends. At least I thought we were. But I guess I was wrong about that. What do you mean? If I knew him so well, why was it such a shock for me to find out he had killed someone? It's not easy discovering that someone you're close to has committed a terrible crime. It's a very bitter pill to swallow indeed. How could it all end like this? I could never have imagined something so awful. Something's not right here, Mr. Edgeworth. There's just no way Simeon murdered Mr. Knight. Yes, he certainly doesn't seem to have an obvious motive. Then again, he wouldn't have been arrested for no reason either. Oh, really, Edgeworth? Really? Really? How could you even say that? You know better. I wonder what grounds they had for doing so. None, probably. Reason for arrest. Let's hear this. Why were you arrested, Mr. Saint? I just don't get it. Why won't he talk to me? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. Well, he answered you, Mr. Edgeworth. I guess he's not scared of you anymore. Thank goodness for small miracles. The cops pushed into my house this morning out of nowhere. And before I knew it, I was here. These policemen, was there a prosecutor with them? Yes, some kid named DeWinter or something. Oh, that's a reference. That's a reference to his fan translation name. The rookie. I thought as much. So, did they interrogate you yet? What? I'm gonna be interrogated by the cops? Well, yeah, I mean, you've been arrested. You're a suspect now. No! No. Won't the detectives shout at me and threaten me and... Oh! There are always these hulking guys, right? Who get in your face and force you to... Detective Dick Gumshoe reporting for duty! See, I told you! Please don't hurt me. Please don't crush me with those huge arms. Oh, please. I'm calling the cops.
What's up with this guy, Mr. Edgeworth?
Oh, nothing, Detective. You're just being you. I guess it's just how you are.
I don't get it, sir.
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, Simeon is clearly innocent. There's gotta be something we can do for him, isn't there?
Mr. Saint,
Yes?
You were Mr. Knight's friend, and 2 days ago you came to visit him. You had nothing at all to do with his murder, is my understanding, correct?
Yes, I didn't kill anybody.
Very well. Then I will choose to believe you, and I will do all that I can to assist you.
Huh? But why would you help a nobody like me?
Let's just say that I may not be doing it solely for your sake. I have something of a personal interest in this case. That's right, it's payback time. We'll show those two whose investigation reigns supreme.
oh yeah, now we're cooking.
Okay, nice Iron Chef reference, I like it. Unfortunately, I still lack the authority to conduct said investigation. As such, my resources are rather limited, and I'll need to lean heavily on the ones I do have at hand. Which means you, Mr. Saint, your information will be invaluable going forward. In other words, let's see if we can't help one another out, shall we?
Oh, I thought of something. Why don't you just borrow an attorney's badge? Then you could represent our pal here.
Now's not the time for jokes, Gummy. I mean, Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor. He couldn't defend anyone if his life depended on it.
Oh. But I wasn't kidding. I just thought helping suspects, that's what a defense attorney does, you know?
Sure, but we can do that too. The only thing that matters is that we find the real culprit in the end. So come on, let's get to work.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure you know already, but just to be clear, if our investigation ultimately proves you to be the culprit, we'll have no choice but to treat you like any other suspect. But you needn't worry. I believe you. At least I have decided to try. For now. Just hold tight and try to believe in us in return. If nothing else, it might help you to feel a little less alone. Now, if you'll excuse me. Your life, your choice. March 28th, 11:22 a.m., Detention Center, Corridor. So we talked a good game in there, but we can't even get back inside the main prison to see the scene of the crime.
Maybe defending the guy in court is our best bet after all.
Gummy! Can't defend for his life, remember? Well, who do we have here? Haha! Isn't it? If it isn't, Edgeworth and the gang! What are you cats doing here?
Listen, pal, if you've come to harass Mr. Edgeworth again, I'll...
Hey, easy there, Detective Flatfoot Sholmes. I'm here to work. Wow, there's another reference. Work? What, you here to defend somebody? That's Phoenix's #1 rule for lawyers. Always try to believe your client, at least for now. Yep. Whoa, the Keymeister nails it in one. Aren't you just the uber intelligentes one of the punch? Intelligentes, yeah. Uber intelligentes, that's not how you use either of those words, Fender. Some may say I'm an easy-going old rogue about town, but I'm actually not a half-bad attorney, which is why I've been summoned to the old J. Larooney for a meeting with a new client. The suspect is one Simone Sainsbury. You mean Simeon Saint? Wow, that's freaky. You know more about my job than I do. Wait, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Fender's a defense attorney. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I fear I might be. In fact, it could be our only option. Not so long ago, I found myself embroiled in another case that wasn't mine. I managed to worm my way onto the crime scene by agreeing to be a certain someone's subordinate. Not an experience I ever wanted to repeat, but I fear I may have little choice. Fender, before you say another word, I just gotta point out the fine print. Eddie Fender doesn't take on associates. Huh? say it ain't so, I hear you protesting, but pompous prosecutors are a no-go. Especially those of the Von Karma variety. I should have known he wouldn't forgive me that easily. I understand why you wouldn't want to work with someone like me. What's more, I understand how you feel about all things Von Karma. But please believe me when I say I'm not the man I was back then. I'm no longer under my old mentor's spell.
You better believe it, pal. Mr. Edgeworth, a changed man. Sure, he used to be the demon prosecutor, but he's not like that anymore.
I do have feelings, Detective. Gummy's right. Mr. Edgeworth's one of the good guys now. He's not just a prosecutor, he's a hero. He got me off the hook just last month. You don't say.
Well, that escalated quickly.
But he was. There's no other word for it. He was heroic. Great thiefly, even. Please, Fender. Don't you think there's something odd about the way the committee stepped in yesterday? There's more to this case than meets the eye. I'm certain of it. I can't just walk away from this. I can't.
Please allow me to help you with this investigation.
Sheesh. A bow from the great Miles Edgeworth. Never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. So, enlighten me, if you will. What made the leopard change his spots?
Well, I suppose I would have to say the courtroom itself.
I have experienced so many things, and met so many people there within its four walls, including some old friends, who showed me a better way. How could that not change a person? Well, I'll be. The old you would have never bared his soul like that. That was beautiful. You might have even surprised you-know-who, and you know how much that takes. Tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start again with a clean slate. So this is me.
Edgeworth and Co. Law Offices? Eddie Fender, senior partner?
Edgeworth? That's right. Mr. Fender here began his legal career as an assistant to my late father, Gregory Edgeworth. What? Your dad was a defense attorney? So, the you-know-who Mr. Fender keeps talking about is... The clever game meister nails it and won yet again. That's right, I was talking about his old man. Guess you all noticed I kept his name over the door, so to speak. Least I could do for old Gregory, really. Listen, Edgeworth. Miles. I'm gonna level with you here. I don't trust you. Not fully, anyway. I just can't forget about all those years you spent licking Von Karma's boots, you know? Anyone can say they've changed. I'm gonna need you to prove it. And besides, you know it's what Gregory would have wanted. Very well, I accept. Okay, then that's enough hardball for one day. Let's move on to the fun stuff. I hereby appoint you interim associate of Edgeworth & Co. Congrats, man. I'll try not to let you down. Well, doesn't this bring a tear to the eye? The prodigal son coming on board of his late father's firm. Permission to come on board too, please, Mr. Fender? You don't even have to ask, kiddo. Welcome to the crew. Woohoo! Thanks, Captain. Alright, I guess it's time to go to work. So, where to begin? Any bright ideas, Miles? Where were we when we were so rudely interrupted? They say it probably wasn't the victim. Oh yeah, they were the scream that they heard. Yeah, the person who found the body, right. I believe we need to speak with the person who found the body. Just what I was thinking, eager associate. We do indeed. Still the type to smile and nod, I see. That will certainly make my life easier, boss. Now that that's decided, let's get going.
What about me? I'm a detective. I can't just hop on board as an attorney's assistant like you guys.
He has a point. I can't leave him adrift all on his own, now can I? Detective Gumshoe, I have a special assignment for you. You are to continue investigating the case under Mr. Winner. And if you happen to discover anything that seems useful, you are to notify me immediately. You're in a uniquely powerful position, Detective, and I'm going to need all the info you can pass our way.
You can count on me, sir. I'm a real pro when it comes to letting things slip to the defense.
Yeah. The original version of that line in the fan translation, I think, was, I'm an expert at leaking things to the defense, which is pretty good too, but yeah, that's great. Trust me, I know, but just this once, those loose lips of yours might be what saves our ship. Throw wide the prison gates, good sirs, because here we come. March 28th, 11:50 a.m., prison corridor. So, any idea how we track down whoever found the Bronxter's body, Miles? I think our best bet would be to simply ask around. Oh, don't you dare! Who is this? Excuse me, but oh my, just look at you! Are you talking to me? Just fabulously chic, darling, fabulously. Facial hair is so very au courant, don't you think? Enchanté, madam, as well. Much obliged. Defense Attorney Eddie Fender at your service. Let's get things off on the right foot, shall we? A little, embrasse, perhaps? Oh, I like the sound of that. Right on the kisser. Well, how else does one greet a new friend? A little smooch is entirely de rigueur, don't you think? How? Talk about stealing a kiss. Indeed. An act so shameless it puts even great thieves to shame. Physical contact is so very important as a form of expression for our little family. Everyone in this lovely home will tell you as much. Hey, if everyone else is hip to that, I can be hip to that too. Sure. Fifi Lagarde, by the way. Warden of this charming abode. You may call me Fifi, of course. So she's the warden of the entire detention center and prison facility, is she? A pleasure to meet you, Miss Lagarde. Miles Edgeworth. I am an associate with Mr. Fender's practice. I hope you don't mind me asking, but were you here in the prison yesterday? Oh, don't be silly, darling. Of course I was. Yesterday was a very important day, after all. Important in what way, exactly? A big meeting of some kind, perhaps? A meeting? Oh, heavens, no! I couldn't think of anything worse. No, yesterday the circus came to visit. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that music. The music, no! Oh, no, I forgot about this. Oh, no. Ugh. Wait, I was so flustered I skipped past some text. It was a simply spectacular event featuring some terrifically talented animals. Anyone who was anyone had to be there. If you were here at home, you were watching the show with me. The performers set up a special stage in the yard just for us. We are one lucky family, n'est-ce pas? So she was at this circus performance for the inmates yesterday morning. Mr. Carcerado mentioned a show yesterday as well. He must have been talking about the same thing. What time did this show take place? From around 8 until 10, maybe? Yes, something like that. Meaning it finished right around when the body was discovered. And by dint of having attended the show, she has a reasonably solid alibi. Oh, would you look at the time? Sorry, darlings, but I really must dash. Feel free to explore our home, mi casa su casa and all that. Ciao for now. Well, what now, Mr. Edgeworth? The person who found the body screamed, and that scream was heard by one inmate that we know of. Therefore, our first task is to question this inmate and see where his information will take us next. Alright, But I think I'm going to call it for there. That's a good intro. And then next time we're going to continue with some more Miles Edgeworth ace assistant attorney. So, yeah, Fender's new assistants. There we go. Anyway, we will see you next time.